Hello, my Leo, Sun, Moon, and Risings, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and I teach you how to use astrology as a practical tool for self-development and life fulfillment. And in today's video, we are doing a 4-week forecast for my Leos, roughly talking between January 9th to February 5th transits. And I will put the exact timeline of these 4 weeks down in the description box in the description itself. This is your 4-week forecast to give you an update on what is going on astrologically over the next 4 weeks and how this all plays into a greater storyline of what is going on for you in 2026 so that you can set intentions for the next 4 weeks ahead, understand what may be coming your way, and what you're being invited to focus on, Leos. So in today's video specifically, we're going to talk about the astrological transits over the next 4 weeks and how they will affect you, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Your checklist, how Leo can align to these energies practically, things to do, things to think about, and the overall theme, how this all plays into a greater storyline for Leos in 2026. And of course, if you are someone who wants to dive deeper and get more personalized guidance to the next 4 weeks, then I invite you to book a reading with the link in the description box down below, where in 30 minutes or 1 hour, we can go deep into your birth chart and how it's being impacted by the upcoming transits and what the overall storyline is for you for the year of 2026. Are your resolutions aligned? Are you going to be called to focus on the area of life that you are currently setting goals for? This is all based off of the stars, and we can go deep into that in a reading. And with that, I do want to mention one thing that I do tend to forget, which is I do have multiple 3-month coaching programs. So if you're someone who's looking for more support, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, and you want someone who helps you get clarity on where you are being called to go next, if you are an external processor like me who sometimes just needs to share their thoughts and hear you're on the right path and here's why, then my coaching programs are for you. I will put them in the link in the description box down below. You can always find them on my website at isabelrobledo.com/coaching. With that spiel out of the way, Leos, let's get into your 4-week forecast from January 9th to February 5th of 2026, starting off with some energies that are more present in the beginning of this cycle, in the beginning of January. In January, especially before the 21st, we have Capricorn, Pisces, and Taurus energies all harmonizing together. And as of publishing this video, this energy has been going on since the beginning of the year, but it's been building over time. I believe we are actually about in the peak of these harmonious aspects. Whenever we have planets in different signs harmonizing between 2 signs, this means that there are 2 areas of your life, or 3 in this case, working together, as each sign is a different house based off of the horoscope that you're watching for. Now, each planetary energy and zodiac sign brings different themes. So first off, let's talk about the Capricorn energies that are present, as they usually are around this time of year for you Leos with Capricorn season. We have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars in Capricorn in your 6th house. Capricorn energies encourage discipline, practical action, and ambition in your health, your habits, your routines, your works, and your rhythms. You're being called to show up in your day-to-day life with more persistence and consistency, placing responsibility on how you accomplish your goals on a day-to-day basis and how you balance your daily rhythm. So in the end, what this energy invites you to do during this time is be disciplined in your daily flow and daily work. Bring more structure to your lifestyle and strive for the ultimate win in your lifestyle. Leos, this is your annual season of focusing on your goal-oriented productivity, really. Every Leo energy has this innate 6th house Capricorn energy that they feel in transit, where it feels like, how do I accomplish my goals on a day-to-day basis? How do I feel accomplished when I lay my head down to rest? Leos, this is your annual time to really look at and assess your lifestyle. How do you balance your life day in and day out? Are you accomplishing your goals? And are you living what you would consider a successful life? So getting really clear on your goals and how you execute these goals and strive for them on a day-to-day basis is really encouraged during this Capricorn season. It brings you a sense of accomplishment. It's more successful during this time with Mars here, brings you vitality, brings you a sense of love for life with the Sun and Venus here, and you could have heightened communication here. There's just a strong energy focus in this area of your sky, calling you to focus on your day in, day out life. And I do encourage with this as well, this is not just about achieving your career goals or financial goals on a day-to-day basis. Are you living what you would consider a successful life? That is the question that the sixth house energy with Capricorn here really calls you to think about. Are you making time for rest? Are you being consistent, persistent in your day-to-day rhythm? Are you making time to have all the things that you'd want in your life if you were an ultimate success and ultimate win? These are some things that you are called to pursue and create over the next couple of weeks with all this Capricorn energy. Now, additionally, this Capricorn energy is not standalone. This sixth house is not just highlighted for you, but we also have your eighth house highlighted. And that is because Neptune and Saturn are in Pisces in your eighth house, which means that these two areas of life are working together. So with this Neptune and Saturn energy standalone, your vision for intimacy, trust, and vulnerability are heightened, and you feel called to embrace authority within your closest shared relationships. You're able to bring more spirituality to your connections so you can set better boundaries and deepen these connections. As you pursue building compassionate spiritual relationships, your health and lifestyle improve. What this energy in the end asks you to do during this time is to show up with compassion and spirituality in your intimate relationships. Set healthy boundaries to build trust and lasting connection. Leo, again, these energies are working together with Capricorn. So over the next couple of weeks, roughly until the 21st, we'll say, with this Neptune, Saturn, Pisces energy and Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, all in Capricorn, your lifestyle and your relationships are highlighted. And so the things you do to improve your lifestyle, your day-to-day goal setting, highlight and improve your relationship connection, and vice versa. The things you do to improve your relationship connections, the things you do for your relationship and your connections positively impact your day-to-day life. You see what I'm saying here? These two areas of life are working together, and Neptune and Saturn in your eighth house in Pisces are really about making the ideal real. Neptune with Saturn here really brings a sense of, I see the vision and I can execute it. And that's this energy of Neptune, Saturn. So for you, this is all about your goals and your vision for your relationships. How do you want to connect with people when trust is involved? How do you want to connect with people when there's some aspect of vulnerability and intimacy? You're being called to bring more unconditional love and bring your spiritual beliefs to the table. This could mean having more spiritual conversations with your deepest friends, deepest connections, and romantic partners. This could be about just, I would think, bringing your spiritual values and keeping them in mind in your connections. Are you someone who values unconditional love or detachment? Maybe bringing these qualities more to your romantic life. And not only do we have these Pisces and Capricorn energies working together in the first couple of weeks of January, but we also have another final astrological zodiac sign involved, which is Uranus is a retrograde in the sign of Taurus in your 10th house. So standalone, Uranus in your 10th house retrograde is bringing shifts to your profession, your career, and your authority. You may be during this time reassessing your career path, or maybe even how you show up as far as your image professionally. And you are discovering new ways during this time of finding a sense of authority. Unexpected insights may help you find better perspective on your career and your career image. In the end, what Uranus retrograde in Taurus asks you to do during this time is experiment with new ways of professionally presenting yourself, and be flexible and open to shifts in career and authority. The 10th house really has two major themes for you, Leo, during this time. The first one is your career itself, the work you do. The second aspect, subtly different, is how you show up in this work. how you appear, how you present yourself, how you find a sense of authority in your profession. So your image in your career could be shifting during this time, or the work itself could be. And this partly has to do with the fact that Uranus brings both mental and physical shifts. It brings physical shifts sometimes for the sake of mental refinement and new perspective. So your career is highlighted over the next couple of weeks, and has been so far. I would love to hear if anything has played out for you so far, Leos, in January, some sort of shift or unexpected insight in your career. And what is highlighted with Taurus, Uranus and Taurus involved, positively aspecting both our Capricorn planets, and with Capricorn planets harmoniously aspecting Pisces planets, there is a harmony between these three areas of life. The ways you find security specifically, and a sense of self-worth in your career, you're experiencing different insights here this month. And this is positively impacting how you show up in your relationships and how you show up in your day-to-day life. And vice versa. Again, the things that you're doing to promote a better lifestyle, the things you do to cultivate depth and spirituality in relationships are positively affecting your career. So your career, your lifestyle, and your relationships are working hand in hand this month to bring you to a place of greater self-worth, greater sense of accomplishment, and a greater sense of, I would say, surrender, softening, and compassion specifically in your relationships. And these Taurus, Capricorn, Pisces energies are going to be present until around roughly the 21st of January. I want you to keep that date in mind with a grain of salt, because we are going to talk about how these Capricorn planets are going to shift into Aquarius in just a second. But I want you to take this as more of an intuitive, noticing where you're at, rather than this black and white, now I'm supposed to shift my focus to this because my teacher said so. So with these energies of Capricorn, Taurus, and Pisces, there are some invitations being presented, some things that you're being called to do. And so I want to take a minute to give you a bit of a checklist on some things you may feel called to do during this time. Again, you don't have to execute this list, but I invite you to look through this list and ask yourself, do I feel called to do these things? Do these feel like they would be helpful for me to do during this time? So your checklist for what to do with this energy this month so far is create a disciplined daily rhythm, whether that's setting a specific time you wake up, a specific time you work, a specific time of movement or rest to support your energy. Having more disciplined structures in your day-to-day life could really feel good for you during this time, Leos. Protect and manage your energy. Simply put, are you giving yourself space away from your relationships to honor your energetic boundaries? Part of having Neptune and Pisces, or Neptune and Saturn in Pisces in your 8th house, is also knowing when to create energetic boundaries. You may want to create time blocks specifically with that for solitude. Do you create space away from your partner? Additionally, initiate deeper conversations about spirituality or emotional needs with someone you're close to, whether that's a romantic partner or a friend. Commit to one health supportive habit and follow that daily. Whether that is doing some sort of maybe a greens juice or always eating at a specific time. I know for me, I am the worst about making sure I feed myself breakfast. Maybe that's your similar thing that you need to do, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Experiment with your professional presence in branding or your roles or responsibilities or leadership style. How could you experiment in how you show yourself in a professional manner? Where can you present yourself differently? Take authority over your work life, whether that's clarifying your priorities, streamlining your workload, or focusing on tasks that move you forward towards long-term success. Make sure that you are truly standing in your authority over what you do for work on a day-to-day basis. And finally, balance discipline with compassion. Show up consistently in your relationships and your work without overextending yourself. Kind of the energy that is present in the end, Leo, with Saturn, the planet of restriction, in your 8th house in Pisces, and with all these planets in Capricorn, is how do you bring parameters into your life to create better bliss and harmony? Is there something that you can structure or use as a structure in your day-to-day life to bring more fulfillment? And do you need to create more boundaries in your intimate relationships so that you can truly show up as unconditionally loving? Now, Leos, after we have all these harmonious Neptune, Saturn, all these other planets in Taurus, Pisces, and Capricorn working together, a lot of our Capricorn planets, which are at the final degrees of Capricorn, are going to, of course, shift into Aquarius. So around the 21st, we're going to have the Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars, as well as Pluto, in Aquarius in your 7th house. These Aquarius energies encourage innovation, individuality, and purpose in your one-on-one relationships, friendships, and partnerships. You're being called to show up in relationships with detachment and bigger vision, placing value on how you show up with others, create relationships, and connect in one-on-one dynamics. So what this energy in the end asks you to do is to bring more authenticity or individuality, as well as purpose into your relationships and one-on-one interactions. Spend time with people you mentally connect with. Leo, this is your annual opposite season. Naturally, Leos move through life in a very sun, radiant, passionate, driven manner, we can call it. Whether Leo's your sun, your moon, or your rising, you want to be playful and do. I think that this Aquarius energy could be a time where you are called to do less and focus more on what you think. So what I want to note with these energies over the next 4 weeks, though it's roughly showing up on the 21st, eventually you may feel a call to move away from your productivity, away from your goals, away from more grounded structures, and instead just focus on mental connection and focus on finding a sense of individuality, importance, and purpose through conversation with others. And when or if you feel called to do so, this is a great time to make time for those connections. Prioritize your partner, prioritize your friends. This may be your annual season where you feel called to connection, and it's important that you honor that if that desire strikes for you. On the 18th of January, we will have our new moon in Capricorn, which for you, Leos, is in your 6th house. This is going to begin a new chapter for you around your health, your habits, your routines, your work, and your rhythms. You're being asked to bring more structure, discipline, and intention to your day-to-day life so that your energy can be used sustainably rather than being burnt out. This is a chance for you to choose systems and habits that actually support your vitality and long-term success. What this new moon on the 18th will ask you to do, and that you are invited to, is initiate and intend. Set intentions for consistent routines, healthier boundaries around work and rest, and practical habits that truly strengthen your body, your focus, and your sense of purpose. The new moon, of course, does play into how the next 4 weeks are unfolding for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And so when the new moon in Capricorn comes around, this will be your time to set intentions for what you've basically learned over the past month in regards to Capricorn energy. You've been experimenting and putting energy into your day-to-day habits. And the new moon is like the closing out of a cycle in a sense, because the new moon comes right at the end of all these Capricorn energies. So this is a time for you to say, what have I learned so far about my productivity, my habits, my work, and what do I want to intend? What do I want to set in stone a bit more? What do I want to initiate during this time before I enter my Aquarius season? This is a time for you to assess what did work and didn't work in regards to your health, your habits, and your goals in your day-to-day life. So from the 15th to the 21st, some things that you may want to do, Leo, during this Capricorn new moon is assess your daily routines, identify what's supporting your energy and what's draining it, set clear intentions, decide on the specific habits, boundaries, or systems to implement for sustainable health and productivity, establish structure, create a realistic schedule or framework that balances work, rest, and personal care, and take one actionable step. Start a new habit, adjust a routine, or set a boundary that strengthens your body, your focus, and your sense of purpose. And after we have our new moon, per usual, we will have a full moon. Our full moon will be happening in your sign Leo, as this is happening during Aquarius season. So with the full moon in Leo in your 1st house on the 1st of February, you will be likely realizing how powerful your true sense of self really is and noticing where you've been holding back or hiding your light. Parts of your identity, how you show up, or the way others see you may be reaching a peak or culmination, bringing old fears or insecurities to the surface or to light for release. You may gain recognition or clarity that reminds you of your natural confidence and courage. In the end, what this full moon in your sign asks you to do, Leo, is do things that allow you to fully be yourself. Let go of anything that hides your sense of self, hides your light, and be bold in your appearance. Be seen and spend time with yourself. A full moon brings to light for release and brings to light for receiving. So you may be receiving some sort of I've become the person I've always wanted to be revelation during this full moon in Leos. And you may also realize what's been holding you back. So I really recommend to my Leos during this full moon in your sign to write out what limiting beliefs come to the surface or what biased behaviors come to the surface that keep you from truly being yourself. Especially for those who are Leo moons, this can bring to light something that keeps you from embracing that inner child that you want to express. And for my Leo's sun and moon or risings who feel like they have to really hide this part of themselves, this could really bring to light something that has been blocking that Leo energy from being expressed so that you can be more playful, lighthearted, joyous, stereotypical Leo energy that doesn't necessarily always come naturally to Leos, you know? I actually just worked with a client yesterday who was a Leo, and she was saying kind of how the conversation came up that everyone just assumes all Leos embrace this life of the party, center stage attitude so easily, that everyone just loves them and that they say, look at me, when really this is so far from the truth. Many people who are Leos feel a great sense of shame or lack of recognition for this part of themselves. They don't feel that they truly get to be playful. Oftentimes they feel like it's an image they have to uphold, or they have to suppress this part of themselves because of what they get often told, which is they take too much attention. So this full moon could be a time where some of these beliefs come to light and you say, you know what? I'm liberating myself from these. I'm being the person I've always wanted to be. And these could be things that you've been working on for the past 6 months. So your checklist, Leo, for this full moon in your sign from the 29th of January to the 3rd of February is express yourself boldly. Do something that shows your true personality, your style, or talents without apology. Spend intentional time with yourself. When we have a full moon in our first house, we feel called towards independence oftentimes. Connect with your inner confidence, celebrate your strengths, and honor your individuality. Take time to notice how much you've changed or transformed. How have you become the person that maybe you've wanted to be in some manner? And finally, change something in your appearance or approach to others to be aligned with your authentic self. Maybe this is small. Maybe this is just taking a breath before you say your next word. Maybe this is you taking on a more bold way of dressing. Maybe this is you being more upfront in how you communicate yourself. Whatever it is, Leos, do one little thing during this full moon that aligns you with more sense of authenticity. So those are all the transits that you should be aware of that are coming your way, Leos, over the next 4 weeks. And I would love to hear down in the comments below what you are intending for your life during the next 4 weeks. How are you going to bring more productivity and a sense of persistence and consistency to your daily goals? But before you leave this video, I want to talk about one last thing with you, because it is so easy, I've noticed, especially over last year, to really get honed in on the micro scale. And while there are transits that we should definitely note and can note that are helpful for helping us understand why we are experiencing little emotional volatilities or what we're being energetically called to in the moment, what I've really noticed is that this all plays into a bigger picture. And hopefully you've watched, Leos, your 2026 forecast that I created for you, because really I would say this is the cornerstone end all be all thing you should keep in mind are the yearly transits on this broader scale. I want you to remind you of that in today's video, because while there are all these transits going on for you over the next 4 weeks, this is all playing into a bigger story for you. This is all the tiny little pieces that are playing into a bigger journey or side quests when you are in a bigger game. And that bigger game, that bigger story, that main character for you is the North Node transiting Pisces and the South Node transiting Virgo for the next 6 months. They are wrapping up their story here. They've been here in these signs since January of 2025, and they will be here until July of 2026. Wherever these nodes transit, this is the area of life where we're doing our transformation. We're living our purpose. We're growing our purpose. We're developing ourselves. We're growing into a greater version of ourselves. We're growing our fulfillment, and we're being called to release what no longer serves. So it's like, imagine your life is a house. These are the rooms you're renovating and doing demo work. So these are the major areas you should focus on. So with the North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo, Leo, you've been cleansing, releasing, and detoxing the critical, materialistic, and perfectionistic patterns you have in your self-management, your finances, your self-worth, and independence. And with the North Node in Pisces, you are being called to grow towards spiritual, compassionate, trusting relationships, heal your deeper wounds, and allow the right people in. Leo, you're really on a journey of cultivating spiritual relationships and learning how to let people in. How do you trust other people? This has been your major theme since January of 2025 and is still the major theme for you in this month, in the next 6 months. So if you ask yourself anything, if you're honing in on your tasks and your to-do list and feeling like you're trying so hard to be productive and shift your identity, remember that the major question above all else, the nodes of fate are ruling this story, and they're asking you, how can you let people in? How can you cultivate truly spiritual, unconditionally loving, trusting relationships? How can you bring more spirituality into your expectations in your relationships? And what are the self-sufficiency patterns, the ways you manage yourself in solitude on your own, the ways you try to protect yourself that need to be released? Really, Leos, you're still in a journey. Simply put, no better way to describe it than on trust. You're on a journey to trusting others. And that is your major theme overall, above all else. And all other transits serve that major theme. So Leos, let me know down in the comments below, did this 4-week forecast help you? This is a new format for me that I will be likely continuing for the rest of the year, because filming all the signs horoscopes on the start of each month and getting them up by January, by February is a lot. And I'd rather have this as more of a rolling calendar for you so that you can have a check-in more so, rather than treating it like you're black and white, this is how you have to approach this month. So I'd love to hear down in the comments below if this video helped you, what resonated for you, what of the checklists on the checklist will you be taking into account, how are you aligning to these energies, what are you feeling, and what have you learned so far? We have been in this transit of the South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces for a year. What have you learned in regards to this topic of trusting others, bringing spirituality? Share your wisdom down in the comments below, because a Leo could be down there looking for wisdom, and your piece could be exactly what they've been needing to have a breakthrough. And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. If you liked today's video, but you wish it was more personalized, I invite you to book a reading. Readings are not just for people who are looking to understand their natal chart or get the data once. They're meant to be check-ins, someone who you can go to for guidance. That is what this is all about. We're looking to the stars for direction, and sometimes we need someone in the middle, an intermediary, to translate that. So if you're looking for a bit of direction, looking for a bit of clarity, or something even to contemplate, if we think about, staring into the night sky whimsically, then booking a reading could be what you're looking for. Learn more about readings down in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Until next time, I'll see you in 4 weeks, Leos. From my heart to yours, namaste.